They were so close. Cobra Kai Season 2 tells the story of battling dojos as Miyagi-Do karate rises in numbers while John Kreese returns to Cobra Kai. What's up, guys? Now we're here to talk about Season 2. If you missed my review of Season 1 last week, please check that out. This is going to be spoiler review. I have seen these shows back when they aired on YouTube, so it's been a while for me. I know a lot of you guys are just now tuning in, which is why I'm doing these videos, to join the conversation now that so many more people are realizing how awesome Cobra Kai really is. So there's your warning. If you're watching this to see if you should watch the show, yes, you should. There's your answer. So Season 2 kicks off immediately where Season 1 left off. Cobra Kai has won the All-Valley Karate Tournament. You have the return of John Kreese, and this season is basically about these two dojos, Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do karate, rising in numbers as well as rising in tension between each other. Not only between the two senseis of Daniel and Johnny, but as well as the students for romantic reasons, for rivalry reasons, for torn apart friendship reasons. It's a season that raises the stakes, it goes bigger, it tries to outdo everything that it did story-wise and action-wise that it did in the first season. And kind of going along with that, it's a season that gives me more of what I liked, but also more of what I didn't like about Season 1. So starting right off with the positives for Season 2 of Cobra Kai, I love the development of the relationship and the rivalry between Johnny and Daniel LaRusso. Now, obviously, that's the nostalgic drive for people that grew up with those movies to give the show a chance in the first place, and it is one of the better parts of Season 1. Season 2, to me, it's the strongest part of the show, because not only does their antagonistic relationship rise because Cobra Kai is trying to outdo Miyagi-Do. Miyagi-Do is, taking students literally from Cobra Kai and teaching them this different form of karate, but there's also like a budding almost friendship between Johnny and Daniel. Like in the first season, the scene that I love where they're kind of driving around in that car that Daniel's trying to replace the car that got blown up for Johnny, and they're sitting there and they're kind of jamming out to that REO Speedwagon song, and you see like that almost friendship that just might never really come to fruition. You get even more of that here. There's an episode where they're forced to dine alongside each other, which turns into a double date that is probably my favorite moment in the entire show, because you see like this, not necessarily a friendship budding between them, but almost like an understanding. Like, okay, bygones will be bygones. I kicked you in the face. Maybe it was an illegal kick. Yeah, maybe I was a dick in the high school. And they're kind of joking with each other about it. Like, good times, we can laugh about it now. And that's so fun to watch as somebody that grew up with these characters and grew up with the original movie, because you see what this show is trying to do and trying to kind of flip that perspective on its head and show that, maybe Johnny wasn't as bad of an asshole as we all thought he was. Maybe Daniel wasn't as innocent of a person as we thought he was. And that all kind of comes to fruition in that scene. Of course, things happen that doesn't really, turn into a friendship. Maybe eventually by the end of the series we'll get there. It is my expectation we'll probably head in that direction again in Season 3. But I really enjoyed how they're kind of playing with that they might be able to get along, but there's always something, a personality trait flaw in both of them that just prevents it from coming all the way together. Also, some great fighting, some great fight choreography, some great action in this. It might be a little over the top, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, but if you're here for action, if you like the over-the-top style of choreography that we had in the first season, like with the lunchroom brawl with Miguel, there are more of those scenes in this season, and they're a little bit bigger and a little bit more epic than they were in Season 1. So if you're here for action, there's some more fisticuffs in Season 2. And I really enjoyed seeing how Daniel is starting to kind of come up with his own teachings for Miyagi-Do karate. Like, it was a lot of callbacks in Season 1 with the wax on, the wax off, sand the floor, basically regurgitating all of the lessons that he got from Mr. Miyagi that helped him. In Season 2, there's quite a few scenes where he has to figure out his own new modern brand of Miyagi-Do karate, where he's teaching them the balance on that little disc that's on that pond, where they're trying to figure out how to balance each other out in a back-to-back fight, and then you see that lesson come to fruition in a fight scene in a mall. And I really enjoyed seeing that, because Daniel has his own style, he has his own personality, flaws and strengths, and he's not somebody that's going to be able to regurgitate what Mr. Miyagi did and have it be successful. He has to kind of come up with his own brand of Miyagi-Do, and this season kind of brings some of that. John Kreese coming back was a big plus in this season, because it could have very easily have been corny. It could have very easily have fallen into a little bit of campiness with how over the top he was in the 80s and how well that character fit there. But Martin Kove does a really good job at still holding on to what made Kreese, but at the same time, you get a little bit more of that father figure manipulation side of things with him and Johnny. Johnny knows this guy's bad news. He swore him off, he left Cobra Kai, he's hated him for years, he's brought Cobra Kai back and trying to make it this new, better thing than it ever was underneath John Kreese, and then he comes back and it's like this conflict of, do I embody what I'm trying to teach these kids and try to be a better person and try to forgive this guy and give him a second chance and allow him to come with me on this journey to be better? But at the same time, am I just going to fall victim to manipulation again? Is there some other plot this guy is doing? Is he just all the way bad news and there's no hope for him? And you as a viewer are kind of going along with Johnny on that journey of trying to figure out which path you're going to take with John Kreese. And you see these scenes where he's starting to get into the ear of these students to where, you know, Johnny will tell them one thing and then behind the scenes they're bitching like, man, fucking sensei, all doing all this bullshit, I don't believe this. And then John Kreese is just kind of like the devil on their shoulder, like, hey, I hear you, no mercy. Moving into my negatives for season 2, and most of these are small negatives. These are not ones that derailed this season. They're just things that stood out that I think could have been done better, that could have easily made season 2 better than season 1 for me. The melodrama, teenage stuff, the CW type storytelling that you get with the younger generation of characters in this show, it's ramped up even more in this season, almost to a ridiculous level. And it's all of the traditional cliche directions that you see these teenage relationships explored in shows and in movies, where you get, you know, this distant relationship and you get the new guy that was obviously being set up as the new guy for Sam. And then there's this tension relationship between the two guys that just makes it even harder for all three characters. Love triangles can be fun, they can be tension, they can be drama. At the same time, they can be a little bit ridiculous and a little bit exhausting, and this leans a little bit more into the latter for me. I absolutely despise the character of Dimitri. I think that he is unbearably annoying. I understand the point of him. I understand that he is literally just there to make Hawk seem like that much more of an antagonist, that much more of an asshole, that much more of somebody who has fallen into darkness through Cobra Kai. But we don't need the opposite extreme to the level that they take it with Dimitri, who is somebody that every single scene that he is in, you just want to punch this kid in the face. Like, damn Miyagi, this guy is going down. Literally every scene is him complaining and whining. I don't want to do this, and I don't really want to be trained this way. Here's a note from my mom saying that I can't really do any physical training, so can you just give me a worksheet? Like, it's supposed to be funny. And for some people it might be. For me, I'm slowly starting to get on Team Hawk because this fucking guy is just annoying the shit out of me. And while they might be saving this for season 3 or forward, I do feel like they also go a bit over the top with Hawk's storyline, the opposite side of that coin. I understand. This is a guy that was bullied, and they even give you a callback scene to show how emotionally broken this character was whenever he was, you know, on the good side. He was a good guy, the pre-Cobra Kai Hawk. But he is so asshole-ish, he is so antagonistic, he is so fucking evil that I just feel like you're almost negating the realism of this storyline that you're going for and this message that you're trying to go for about how bullying can create bullies, and you're just taking it too far. I mean, this guy is like straight up psychopath now, to where he's robbing shit and he's vandalizing places and he steals the Medal of Honor and wears it around his neck, and he's out to like kill Dimitri by the end of this season. And I don't know, I just feel like you can rein him in a little bit and still make the same point. It's just, it's too much. It's too much. I also felt like Miguel was really kind of pushed to the side this season. I mean, season 1 was very much about his story, and Daniel and Johnny's story was kind of just there to reinforce that story of Miguel. This season, it just feels like he's the jealous ex-boyfriend, and that's what he's relegated to for most of the season. You get a little bit where he understands Johnny, he understands, you know, his whole thing with Robbie and why he didn't want him to be wronged in the Owl Valley tournament in season 1, and I like the whole thing, but by the end of the season, he's, you know, leaning much more into Sensei Lawrence type Cobra Kai than Sensei Kreese, and he shows mercy at the end, even though he probably shouldn't have. But for somebody that I was so invested in season 1, it just really felt like they didn't have enough to do with him in this season, and Johnny and LaRusso just kind of took more of the center stage, which I enjoyed, but balanced it a bit more. The romance between Sam and Robbie, I get it. I mean, it was obvious. It was literally writing on the wall in season 1 that they were going to head that direction. I don't know if it's just the acting quality between these two characters or if it's just that it feels so cliche, but it's a relationship that I have absolutely no investment in. I don't hate them. Like, they're good characters. They're good enough for, you know, the origins of Miyagi-Do karate, and I like the antagonistic relationships they have with some of the Cobra Kai members, but the relationship side of things, I could not care less about these two and their love triangle and whether or not they're gonna make it in season 3 and whatever. And finally, even though it's entertaining as hell, the final fight in this series in season 2 is so over the top, ridiculous, unrealistic that it's almost comical. Like, it's almost campy. You have all the Cobra Kai kids and all the Miyagi-Do kids that have this gigantic brawl in the first day of school, to where all throughout the halls, up the stairs, going through all the different wings of the school, there's people that are just duking it out, almost like a battle to the death between two Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai dojos. Not a single adult or teacher in sight for like a good 10 minutes. You get one guy that comes out and he's like, oh, I don't get paid enough, and he leaves, but no other teachers, no adults, no security guards come in at any point. It's just like the kids rule this school. Must be the same exact school in the next Karate Kid that lets these psychopathic security guards come through and just rule everybody, because, yeah, ain't nobody stopping these kids. And the whole time as an adult, I'm like, I hope schools aren't really like this, because kids need some guidance. I mean, you got the one chick who's like making a physical threat to Sam's life over the loudspeaker for hundreds of witnesses. I'm coming for you, bitch. She's got the little gothic bolts that she can stab people with. Now it's like assault to the nth degree and almost attempted murder and all this crazy over the top stuff where it's like, these are still kids. What the fuck are you doing? Now, as far as my hopes or expectations for season 3, so something I'm gonna add in here because we are waiting for the next season, which will be sometime next year. I think that it's pretty much obvious at this point that Elizabeth Shue's character of Allie is going to come back. I mean, they hint in season 1, well, they don't hint, they say in season 1 that she is a surgeon. And then you have season 2 with this injury with Miguel, as well as the little Facebook thing where she requests Johnny to be her friend. I mean, the pieces are all there for her to come in season 3 and be the saving grace for Miguel, who hopefully doesn't end up paralyzed, because then, well, I don't know what the hell you're gonna do with this character then. But I think that that's going to be an obvious direction they're going to take in season 3. There's also going to be, from what I expect, John Kreese's rise of coming back as the Cobra Kai sensei, and now you're going to have Johnny and Daniel team up at some point, probably to take down John Kreese once again, because now it's going to be full-on evil Cobra Kai, which was already kind of fucked up as it was. There's been some rumors that it might go to Japan, Okinawa, or something like that. I don't know where they would fit that storyline in. I don't know if that would be necessary yet, but I'm sure they could do something interesting there. But I do feel like we're going to get some kind of a team up between Daniel and Johnny to right all of the wrongs and to get rid of John Kreese in season 3, which will be pretty awesome. Because like I've already said, season 2, that's my favorite stuff, is the stuff of them kind of getting rid of their antagonistic relationship and starting to work with each other a little bit and understand each other a little bit. If that comes to ultimate fruition in season 3, then that's going to be a really damn enjoyable season for me. So those are my expectations. Those are things that I also want. So it's like the obvious direction is the direction I think that we should go, but I'm sure they're going to have some surprises along the way. What do you guys want out of season 3? Let me know down in the comment section below on that one. But overall, guys, I enjoy season 2. I think that in a lot of ways it's more enjoyable than season 1, but in a lot of ways all the flaws of season 1 are kind of heightened in this one. So I don't know. Season 1, I probably would say, is a little bit better, a little bit cleaner. Season 2 is damn entertaining, definitely raises the stakes, but then starts to just go over the top a bit with some of the characterizations and certainly the fight scenes. But it's all entertaining regardless. I still love the hell out of this show. Very much looking forward to season 3, and I think above all, as this show continues to go, I'm just really impressed and enjoy the fact that it's really doing a great job at complementing the original films, while at the same time very creatively kind of changing our perspectives on those movies. Not to a point where it ruins it or it changes fundamental things that just destroys what came before, but it complements it, but also makes you look at it through a different lens, which just makes those original stories even better. And that's what a show like this should do at the end of the day. So if you're a fan of the Karate Kid movies or Cobra Kai and you want to see how this saga continues, absolutely check out season 2. It's live on Netflix right now. And I, like you, will keep our eyes peeled for a physical release so that we can go out and buy it. So what do you guys think of Cobra Kai Season 2? Are you still a fan of this show? Do you feel like this was even better than Season 1? Do you feel like it lost you a bit? What are your thoughts, your expectations, your hopes and dreams for Cobra Kai Season 3? Let me know all of that down below, and we will talk about it. Keep your eyes peeled, because either tomorrow or the next day I'm going to have my ranking of all of the Karate Kid films. I don't have enough time to review all of them right now. Maybe one day, but I figured for fun I'll go back and just kind of talk about all of these movies in a ranking. So join me for that. Like and share this video. Hit that subscribe button so that you won't miss that Karate Kid ranking. And as always, guys, remember, opinions are like assholes, but that doesn't mean that you have to be.